Welcome to Daily Tease. My name is David Lee. Welcome to the podcast this week. Today is Sunday, the 27th. In 2 days, when this finally drops on YouTube for you guys as my audience, guys and gals, it will be my birthday. Today, being the day that you hear this, is now June 29th, is my birthday. Woo! So, my only request for my birthday this year is I want to go play 36 holes at a golf course. I don't even know which one. I'm just going to play a double round of golf that day because that's all that I want to do, as long as the weather permitting. If it's hot as anything, I will still do it. If it's cold, I will put on a sweatshirt. If it's rainy, I will still do it. I want to play golf on my birthday. Rain or shine. Huzzah. So I already have my good buddy. You'll see he commented on the other post. I'll out myself. He talks like that. And, and so he's going to be playing with me on my birthday on Tuesday. I'm going to see if anyone else wishes to join. Otherwise, I was initially planning to go play myself. But it's nice to have friends to, hit some balls with. Yeah, no, it's, life is good. Life is actually really good. Just celebrated yesterday, being Saturday the 26th, with mostly family. Actually, all family was there, and played some wiffle ball, watched a projected movie onto my garage. We watched Aladdin, which was the greatest choice, being as it was chosen by my 4-year-old niece. She said, hey, we should watch a movie that's family friendly. I said, yes, we should. Would you like to watch something that's with real people or animated? She goes, animated. I said, okay. What's a good animated film? Despicable Me? So I was like, that's a great choice. Let's do it. Until we realized that I don't have any internet outside of my house, and I don't own Despicable Me on DVD. So I said, all right, listen, we have to choose something different. Went downstairs, go through the DVDs, and I said, you know what? Uncle Davey has chosen 3 movies for you to choose from. Choose Hercules, Tarzan, or James and the Giant Peach. So she goes, James and the Giant Peach. I've never seen that one. I've read the book. I'm like, that's awesome. She's like, yeah, but I think it's kind of scary. So I said, okay. She's like, but I don't want to be scared. I want to be brave, so I want to watch it. I said, yes. James and the Giant Peach. Let's do it. As we get outside, almost ready to put the DVD in, she goes, you know what? I have an idea. So we go back to where the DVD book is, and she says, we should watch something different. I said, okay. Well, do you want to watch Hercules or Tarzan? She goes, how about, and she's flipping through the pages, this one. Said, Aladdin? You want to watch Aladdin? That wasn't one of the choices, but it's a great choice. I think what introduced most people that are my age, first introduction to Robin Williams as a voice actor and as a personality. And even to this day, I think that was the first time watching anything with Robin Williams since Robin Williams' passing for me. And it was very, very heartwarming. He still holds definitely a place in my heart. I should make mention that the personal connection that I have with Robin Williams, because I think we all have one, how he has touched so many lives throughout his career. At my grandparents' house. Now, this is the grandfather I talked about on Father's Day that introduced me to golf. They only had 3 DVDs to watch in their home. And it wasn't even DVDs. They were VHSs. Back in the 90s. They had Home Alone, Mrs. Doubtfire, or Forrest Gump. Forrest Gump is without a doubt one of my favorite films of all time. I would say Mrs. Doubtfire is number 2. And I started to connect Robin Williams with my grandparents. So I don't know exactly how that worked. Maybe because we're Scottish and he's Scottish, and I have such characters as family members. that when Robin Williams passed away, it absolutely felt personal. And I know that, like, I'm not the only, oh my gosh, how can you say that? But at the same time, I know so many people were affected by the loss of such a genuine talent and connection with someone that Robin Williams was as a person. Very relatable. Watching Aladdin was great. Had a great day on my birthday, celebrating with family. We caught fireflies with my niece. It was a great time. So I know that Robin Williams as a person, he was so genuine, passionate, and you can feel his presence in everything he did, whether it was voice acting or physical acting, which if you've ever watched Robin Williams stand up, he is a very physical actor. You can't just listen to it, you have to watch him. Which is why it's great when you watch him in animated films, because they can actually animate a character in the way that he sounds and acts and does everything. Funny story off of that is I've heard there's enough footage of Robin Williams ad-libbing from Mrs. Doubtfire that they can make a rated R version of Mrs. Doubtfire with as much footage as they have. That they can re-release it as a rated R film, which I'm not gonna lie, I would love it. I would die to see it. Well, I wouldn't die to see it, because if I died, then I wouldn't be able to see it. But I would see it and then give my life to have seen it. So, I don't know which company owns the rights to the film, or do it without taking lives. Just give it, because people will die of laughter, I'm sure. So yeah, my birthday was good. It was a fun celebration. My brother-in-law hit a wiffle ball into a tree. I climbed said tree, jumped on the branches a little bit like a crazy person. All the while, my family and friends watching, waiting. The anticipation was palpable. Because you weren't sure. Even my neighbors next door were out sitting on their stoop, watching me up in a tree. I kind of promised them that they wouldn't be watching a death today. And they didn't, clearly. But after I got out of the tree, my neighbor shouts at me that I'm a sick puppy. I just know how to take a good adventure. That's how I'll chalk it up to that. All right, we can get to something pretty legitimate. So just a few months ago, I realized that I wanted to better my look and use of time and time management. So I've been listening to a whole bunch of podcasters. I listened to this one particular podcast called The Mindset Mentor with Rob Dial Jr. Shout out to him. Thank you for that free 3-day live event that you did on Facebook. It absolutely was very, very helpful into how I've been building my schedule, how I've been using my time, and making sure how productive I can be anytime. So first I started off by realizing I had an issue sleeping very, very late and going to bed very, very late. So the first thing I decided to set myself for was setting myself a time to start my decompression before I go to bed, and then give myself time to focus before I start my day. So in the morning, I set myself a 7:30 timer for me. That is very early compared to when I would wake up around 11:30. So I start, in a way, set my alarm clock for 7:30 and gave myself an hour's worth of time to do what I'm calling my morning routine before I have to do anything work-related, starting at about 9 o'clock. So you're thinking, wait, an hour at 8:30? What is that half hour? I do a lot of traveling. My work itself is part handyman and pursuant of a golf career in the golf industry. So from 7:30 to 8:30, I literally wrote down a list of everything that I wanted. From 7:30 to 8:30, I literally wrote down what it is I wanted to accomplish before I take on anything from external sources. So, brushing my teeth, washing my face, making myself breakfast, using the bathroom facilities, doing a little bit of a morning meditation and focus on my day, and all of that before I pick up my phone and start taking in things from the outside. So around 8:30 is when I will finally check my phone, go through my emails, check my social threads, and contact anyone that I'm supposed to be going out and seeing that day. So that's the morning routine. And in the evening, I set myself the same hour, starting at around 11 p.m., and making sure that I am asleep, or when I say asleep, making sure I am in bed, ready for sleep by midnight, which comparative to going to bed around 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning, I'd say that's a good time for me to sleep. Also, through my years of working, I realized 7.5 hours is a good amount of time for my body as an individual. Everyone's different. Younger people need those 8 hours of sleep to really maximize their physicality and as much information as they can take in mentally and emotionally. As you get older, sometimes you'll find it's a little bit less. I find taking naps throughout my day. When I say naps, I mean like one nap in your day is sufficient, but that 30-minute power nap to me is equivalent to 7.5, 8 hours of deep REM. So naps are super helpful the older you get, as long as you can diversify your schedule that way. So in the evening, I set myself the same: shower, wash my face, brush my teeth, do about a 15 to 20 minute meditation to decompress from my day before I crawl into bed. And, for me, I like to listen to yoga style nature sounds, music to fall asleep to. I used to be able to fall asleep with the TV on. I can't do it any further. It's too distracting to my eyes to have the light always moving in the background. When it has anything that has dialogue, I find myself just focused on the dialogue. And if it's engaging enough, like most television programs are, I continually wake up to see what's the action going with the dialogue. So had to cut that down. So that was my morning and evening routines as they stand. So far, it has been about 2 months since I began that, and I've stayed very consistent with it, and I absolutely feel so much more energized and focused throughout my day. It's actually incredible how just putting a structure to your day is really beneficial. Obviously, I think they try to teach you this when you're kids, right? They try to, wake up at this time, go to school. They try to optimize your schedule that way, but that's based on what adults think kids always need. And sure, the kids aren't going to be able to rationally tell you what they need, because they'll just tell you, I need candy and sugar and soda and sleep all the time. I don't want to do anything. If you were the same kind of kid as me, I guess. Otherwise, I want to go out and play nonstop. My 4-year-old niece. Anyway, so from there, how I leveled that up after creating a morning and evening routine was I had a discussion with my brother, and he read a book. It's going to drive me nuts that I cannot recall the name of the book or the author. But the concept, the value that came out of it was most people on average only accomplish 2, I'm using air quotes, large tasks in a given day. So, meaning if you work a 9 to 5, those 8 hours of that day is your first task. That's task 1. It takes up the majority of your day. And then your second task is usually when you get home. So, or whatever you do after hours of work. So if you work 9 to 5, it's that, all right, let's take travel time. You get home around 6. From 6 to what's bedtime for the average person who works 9 to 5? 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock at the latest. You really only have 4 hours after that to do another thing. And most of the times it ends up being cooking, cleaning, most home chores or home maintenance for the average person. If you don't have a secondary partner in life to help ease that secondary tension. But even most often, that secondary task is not just cooking and cleaning, but just decompressing and relaxing, watching your favorite sitcom on TV, streaming service. So those are really the two big tasks that people get done in a day. Now, obviously, you get lunch, whatever your morning and evening routine is. I'm not contributing those to being large tasks. Those are things that are, I'd say, minor B tasks that need to get done every single day. So it's not like you're trying to reach out to do that as a larger task. Unless you once again, schedule yourself to have I go to the gym. That is a large task to do in a day. Whether you wake up earlier before your morning routine actually begins, or if you wake up super early to do your morning routine, hit the gym, and then begin your first large task. So getting that understanding of, if you schedule your day right and you already know that you're really only going to accomplish two larger things, you can structure your day in a way where you focus on those tasks that you want to get done, and it helps schedule your time right, just time management. So the way I broke down my schedule, I wrote it down because I'm a very visual person, where from 7:30 to 8:30 is my morning routine. From 8:30 to 9 o'clock is travel time and or anticipatory for my first task to begin at 9 a.m. For me, sometimes it's handyman work, depending on my schedule, or golfing. So from 9 o'clock, I set out 4-hour increments because, once again, if we break it down to 9 to 5, 8 hours, and then travel time to get home, and then 4 hours before you decide to go to bed between 10 and 11. That's another 4 hours. Add that together. 8 and 4, 12. So 12-hour increments, or 3 4-hour increments, total of 12 hours to get done whatever tasks I wish to accomplish in that day. So I set myself from 9 to 1, take a lunch break from 1 to 2. Most times my lunch breaks go from 1 to 1:30. And then I schedule my next 4 hours from 2 to 6. And then I have dinner from 6 to 7 or 7:30, depending. And then I set my next 4 hours to be from 7 to 11. So from those times, now I've given myself opportunity as a handyman. I can do tasks within a 4-hour frame. I can set myself to do 3 tasks in 4-hour increments. Or if I decided to get a 9 to 5, 8-hour job, I would be able to accomplish that one large task being my work, and then having those extra 4 hours at the end of my day to be my secondary task timing. With that structure, and knowing that I can move my lunch and dinner times around each other, I have a better structure and focus on my day and on my time. And that has helped dramatically for me as someone who always overloaded my schedule with things to do, thinking I'd have enough time. This is only going to take an hour. Well, if you've ever done handyman work or worked on your own home, no task is ever as simple as it seems. Period. Ever. Every time I say, that'll be a really easy job, I get there, and what should have taken me 20 minutes has now taken me an hour and a half, and now my whole schedule's off, and I end up having to push people later. But once again, that's because I was taking on way too much in my day. I did not have a good sense of time management or the actual amount of time for me to accomplish something, to travel in between tasks, and then also have the time to eat. So this has definitely helped. And even Rob Dial Jr., the Mindset Mentor, talks about this all the time, about prioritizing what you want to accomplish and setting these goals in a management way that you can actually accomplish them. And it's very, very important. I highly recommend, if you don't listen to a Mindset Mentor, please go check him out. He is on Spotify, as well as other streaming services, I'm sure, but that's where I get his information. It has been absolutely paramount, and he goes over an array of different things that you can work on throughout your life, if that's what you're looking for. Obviously, not everyone is looking for this kind of information, but if you've made it to me and this seems to be something you're interested in, maybe you'll find your way over there, and I hope it helps. It has for me. So having a good time frame for things makes it easier when having a birthday. Because for me, for the last 3 years, I have gone to Topgolf for my birthday. Shout out Topgolf. Give me some free stuff. So I still want to have that on my day. Like I said, I like to have golf in and around my birthday. Being that my birthday is on a Tuesday this year, being able to celebrate with my family on the weekend was fantastic. And since most people are working on a Tuesday, going out to play a double round of golf, it's going to be magnificent. I'm so excited. And I know my golf game, golf of a complete round of golf with a foursome should take anywhere between 4 to 4.5 hours if you keep up a good moderate pace. Today my pace was 4 hours and 19 minutes from the start of my round to the end. So I think playing a double round at 4 hours about with only 2 people. There's my 8-hour block. I'll grab food after that, head over to Topgolf, get to hang out with some friends and family again. Yeah, I'm going to go golf to golf. That is going to be the best part, because I will have a real practical practice at the course, and then I'll go to the driving range and be very, very tired. But for the golf life, that's just par for the course. Boom! Yes. If you can hear this, I just slapped myself for that. But I make a whole bunch of dad. Actually, I'm a dad to a 4-legged 14-year-old dog. His name is Rebel. He is my life. And he's amazing. I will share some pictures of him on my channel sometime soon. We'll have grooming time with Rebel because he needs to be groomed once to twice a week. And that's one of my large tasks that I do in a day because it takes like 2 hours to do. But I'm happy to do it because I love getting the time to spend with him. And as he's getting older, he doesn't play as much anymore. Like his toys just kind of sit there and like he'll get interested in it for a half a second, pick it up with his mouth, and then put it down. He goes, "I'm too old for this, Dad." All right. Cuddle up on the couch. He's like, "Only if you carry me." So I do. So yeah, I'm excited for my birthday this year, turning 31. If you're doing math out there, that means I was born in 1990. And I will say this so far. My 30s have been interesting due to the global climate of panoramas. And that's a play on pandemic for those of you that are paying attention. Which is how I started off my 30th year. But physically, I feel great. I feel better than I did in my 20s, emotionally and mentally. And I have a focus and drive that somehow I lost in the mid to late 20s. So for those that are not yet 30, that fear it for some irrational reason because it makes you feel older because you've made it 30 years on this planet, it's not. It's an amazing time to be alive. And if you are fortunate enough to have focus and perspective going into it, then A, 30 is truly just a number, and B, you can use this time to really wise up, put the pieces into place where you want them to be with your life, and have a great time. Don't let anything get in your way. Or anyone. Just live your best life. And if you're getting this advice at younger than 30, do it now if you can. Why? I don't want to say why waste time, because as long as you are doing something that you want to do and it's going to give you a great learning experience, then it's not time wasted. And even if you're doing something that's really not going to pan out in the long run, it's still not time wasted because there's always value to time and value of what you can take out of time. So just enjoy life. That's my recommendation. It's not a... I don't want to tell anyone what to do. I don't like doing that. I only know what I wish to do for myself, and that's enough. So if you find any of this information viable and it seems to work in the aspect of your life, subscribe to my channel. There will be more like this podcast episode if you'd like. Ring that bell so you can get notified anytime that I post new content. And please drop a comment below letting me know your thoughts, letting me know if you like the things I'm saying. If you think I'm wrong, I don't mind being wrong, because that's another thing for me to learn. And also just say hello. I'd like to know you're out there. And then maybe I don't have to worry about rambling too much every episode, because I can have some feedback from you guys out there to know what to discuss in the next episode. So thank you once again for joining me. My name is David Lee, and I will see you next week.